Hello there. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here for this, what is sure to be an interesting and hopefully inspiring conversation with some very talented artists. We are here to talk about the current art exhibition on at the Silk Purse Art Center. It is titled Shape and Texture of Visual Symphony and features these three artists who are here with us this evening: Ellen Bang, Shakun Jhangiani, and Yeonmi Kim. My name is Stephen Snyder. I'm the Gallery and Communications Manager for the West Vancouver Community Arts Council, and we are so thrilled to be able to share this artwork by these fantastic artists with you. And I'd also like to take a moment to acknowledge the art exhibition on at the Silk Purse Art Center. It is titled Shape and Texture. Gallery. Sorry, I've got to hear a little bit of feedback here. These three artists who are here with us this evening: Ellen Bang, Shakun Jhangiani, and Yeonmi Kim. My name is Stephen Snyder. I'm the Gallery and Communications Manager for the West Vancouver Community Arts Council, and we are so thrilled to be able to share this artwork by these fantastic artists with you. And I'd also like to take a moment to acknowledge the art exhibition on the Gallery and Communications Manager for the West Vancouver Community Arts Council. That's very weird. Sorry, everyone. Sorry for that. I don't know why that's happening. Bang, Shakun Jhangiani, and Yeonmi Kim. Here we go. Hello. Sorry, there was some weird echoing happening there. But we're back. Everything's right as rain. So yes, this fantastic exhibition here at the Silk Purse features these three incredible artists that we have here with us right now. The show opened on July the 23rd, and it runs until August the 17th. So there's still a nice amount of time to come on in and check it out. The exhibition here at the Silk Purse features these three. What's happening with our fantastic art, to take it in and really experience in person, because we're going to get to see some examples of it in just a few moments. But you really need to come in and see everything live. It's a pretty stunning collection of artwork. So let's get to know our artists. First up, let's go alphabetically. Ellen, would you please tell us a bit about yourself?
Okay, I will. Well, where to start? I've always been creative, I guess. As a kid, I would do things. I would learn how to knit and sew and all the things that you did then. And then I was drawing. I was also doing watercolors at that time. And later on, I actually moved to the sciences. I'm a biologist as well, but had a chance to come back to this about 25 years ago. But in the meantime, I have done different things. I have explored the drawing and printmaking, and I've done lithography in the printmaking, but also other things. And I had a go with Japanese brush painting. And then finally I settled on painting. That is to say, I did go the way of doing sculptures as well. I've done felt sculptures. I've made some stone sculptures. I really like to work with my hands, and that is what has driven me, I think, as in what my influences is. Or I grew up at a time when there was a lot of uproar in the arts community, that we wanted something else and so on. And I started with the abstract pretty early, I guess, and I'm sticking with it. It's I never know what I'm starting when I stand in front of a canvas. So it's more or less I don't know, happenstance that starts the painting, and then it's between me and the lines and colors and the painting, and develop in a kind of a conversation between the two of us. Well, I think that's about what I'm going to say about myself at this point. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing, Ellen. I think as we get to know our other two artists, we might find some similarities in maybe how everyone works and everyone's pretty diverse backgrounds. Next up, Shakun, could you please tell us a bit about yourself?
Hi, everyone. I totally identify with Ellen's history. I started out like, a little kid. I did everything possible, crayons and paints, and tried knitting, tried everything, crochet, sculpture, like exactly like you. And also the whole, like you go into it without any thought of what you want to create and you just let it happen. And that's the magic of how we feel. It's just so inspirational. It's just, I love it. I love creating, period. So yeah, so this the series that I have sent in for this show, most of them have the circle, and that started over about 2 decades ago. Uh, before that, I used to do realistic portraits and still life and stuff like that. You all start with, that's how we train. And then I happened to go to Emily Carr Institute over here, and I went to a mixed media course. And the teacher was Margarita Bootsma, who's unfortunately passed away some years ago. She told us on the first day of class, just go down into the alleyways and pick up whatever you feel like. And I said, ew, how can you pick up garbage? But we all did that. So we picked up, pebbles and dried leaves and twigs and cigarette butts in those days. There were lots of those. So stuff like that. And we went up and in the class, and she said, now create something. Ouch, how can you create something? But we used it and it was amazing. I haven't looked back since. So I always use mixed media. And like many of the stuff that I use, it started with seashells. My grandson, they went to the beach and they came back with these little seashells. Granny, Granny, can you do something with this? So I said, okay, I'll try. And again, like before, I haven't looked back since. I use these crushed seashells and sand. And then, of course, you can't buy too much of the shells. So I've started using little pebbles and stuff. And the Circle series started when I said, maybe I want to get into a commercial gallery and they want like a sort of, a series of paintings with theme. So that's when I started with the circle. But that at that time it was the chakras, the colors of the chakras. So I'd done paintings of big circles with the colors of the chakras. And then gradually it's now become more nature, like the sun, the moon, that kind of thing. So that's my kind of journey. I hope people like it. Stephen, you're lost? I think Stephen's not there. Hi, Stephen.
Stephen,
He's disconnected. Maybe Yeonmi, you should carry on and introduce yourself till he comes
sure.
back.
Yeah. My name is Yeonmi Kim. I was born and raised in South Korea, and I received a bachelor degree in fine art before working in fashion industry and interior design. And I ran a tea house and a custom wood furniture shop with my partner.
Wow.
I immigrated to Canada in 2013. And now I'm working as a visual artist, living in London on Northern Sunshine Coast, BC. And I also do sewing to creative art. and making clothing and do woodworking as well. And all the material that I use in my work are discarded material, such as plastic packaging, recycled wood, driftwood, and fabrics. And I'm interested in all forms of art, including design, fashion, furniture, and architecture. And these diverse experiences and interests influence my creativity. And as you, Shakun and Ellen, talk about, I sometimes feel something created by my hands are the most natural for me. And while creating, I feel deep inner peace and familiarity. And at the same time, in the process, my mind and hands are doing each doing own things and rely on each other, and something new is created. And art is like a window to the abyss to me. So through the window, I think I discovered unseen world and also inner self. And my work is inspired by nature. And I personally feel deep connection to nature. And after I moved to Canada from densely populated Korea, I was amazed by abundant and pristine nature, and it was overwhelmed by its vastness. And spending more time in nature, I became more interested in consuming less and reusing more daily basis. And I value sustainable living. As you know, we live in a chaos, and our modern society is based on excessive consumerism, and it creates a tremendous amount of garbage. And nature gives us generously, but we cannot deny that the giving is not eternal. And the last, I picked a quote, nature provides free lunch, but only if we control our appetites. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing, Yeonmi and Shakun. Really appreciate everything that you had to say, and Ellen as well. I hope our audience feels a little bit more like they know you too. It's really great to hear your backgrounds and where you're coming from as artists, sort of your modus operandi, if you will. For anyone watching live, if you have questions or comments for any of our artists, you can drop those in the chat and we will get to that a little bit later in the conversation. Next, we're going to give you a little sneak peek of the show. We've got a quick little tour just to get you interested in coming on down to see it. Let's just get that going right now. Excellent. So this is sort of the view you get as you come in off of our waterfront walk here at the Silk Purse. We're pretty lucky to be where we are, right on the waterfront and next to John Lawson Park. So we have lots of visitors coming in. So as you can see, it's a bit of a tiny space, but we can fit in a nice amount of artwork. So as we come in, there's these two fantastic paintings here by Ellen. And then we move over to one of Shakun's one of Yeonmi's fantastic wood pieces, kind of like a sculpture, kind of like a collage. And then some more of Ellen's work with really interesting shapes and colors. And then we get to see one of Shakun's really great mixed media works. And as we go, I think you'll be able to see, pick up each artist's sort of individual style.
Mm-hmm.
Some more of Shakun's fantastic pieces. I like the sparkly with the gold. That's been a real draw for people so far.
Really good.
Beautiful.
That's all recycled papers.
And then some really wonderful carvings from driftwood here, made by Yeonmi. And more pieces by Yeonmi here.
Yeah. This one's beautiful.
Yeah.
We get up to another one of Ellen's really dynamic and rhythmic works.
Mm.
Yeah, the show's already been open for about a week, and people have been really intrigued by each of you individually, and seeing you all together. People have been making these really interesting connections. Comments are pretty great so far.
Good.
Good to hear, yeah.
And finishing out the exhibit, we have 3 more of these really great wood sculpture pieces here by Yeonmi. So that's just a quick sneak peek of the show. You really have to come in and really take it in person. It's pretty wonderful. Next up, each of our artists have selected one of the works that's on display to talk a little bit more in depth about sort of the body of work that they're showing, and maybe their process and whatever else they feel like sharing about their pretty interesting work. Let's start with Ellen. I'll pull up your painting here. Excellent. Could you please tell us about this work?
Just a second. Oh, it disappeared for me. Yeah, it's shows a lot of what I've been I worked with. I like the curves and straight lines, and have tried to force myself to go to not be so dependent on the straight lines. I'm inspired by architecture, but also nature. So they both kind of interact with each other. And the latest thing I'm also trying to add is these lines, like the yellow lines here that are more organic, that doesn't have any reason to be like they are, but they are just themselves. So there are different things that I've been working with, but I never know what's going to be there when I start. You can tell that there are some of the architecture at the sides, and I also try like the 3 dimensions that I can get into it. I don't use rulers or anything to make things straight. I just trying to try to just make it work without any other helpers or helping instruments. Sometimes maybe holding a thread to get a sense of a direction or something, but that's it. They are often very solid colors, but I mix them all the time. I never use paint just out of the tube. They are all interact with each other, and that's what's interesting, I find, to work with. What else? I like this, the thin lines too. There's something special about that, but also the rough settings. So it's not trying to represent anything in particular that you can find anywhere. It's just a mixture of shapes and colors and as you also mentioned, Shakun and Yeonmi, that it's about working with it. It tells you what to do next or suggests what to do next, the painting or the sculpture work. And that's what's interesting, or what keeps one going, that it's always new things to figure out. The colors, yes, it's important for me to the colors speak to each other, or they even shout at each other, but at least that there is some interaction between them, and it makes sense where they are. I think that's about all that I have to say about my paintings. It's yeah, it's fun, and that's what I think it should be. So thank you very much for listening to my babbling here. Okay, I'll give it on to next. I don't know who's taking over. No one.
Stephen.
How do we figure this out?
Stephen keeps going off the air.
Okay, maybe Shakun, you could just...
He's back.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. There's something
strange happening.
Signal issues that I'm having in the gallery today. But thank you so much for sharing, Ellen. That was all very interesting. How you talked about color and shape and how everything has to kind of work together, and your interest in this organic versus sort of structure, and sort of that play and conflict is pretty interesting, especially since, as you said, you're not necessarily trying to depict anything, you know, it's more just kind of whatever's coming out at that moment in time, whatever that feeling.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly right. Yeah.
Next up, we have a fantastic piece from Shakun. Pull that up now. Excellent. Could you please tell us about this great work?
This happened again, you know, just quite by accident. I just moved homes and was throwing away packaging, and I thought, this corrugated paper looks interesting, and the wrapping paper is interesting. It was all crushed and looking like, you know, you had to throw it away, but I couldn't throw it away, so I had to work with it because, you know, I told you about 2 decades ago, I picked up garbage from the streets. So this was cleaner, and instead of throwing it, recycling paper, I decided, let me try. It was a challenge, especially the corrugated paper, but I'm happy with how it turned out. And now I'm doing a whole set of paintings with the papers and these tissues and the corrugated. And then I also, the backdrop, I wanted it to look like, you know, you walk around the streets and you see these walls with those murals and things. So I was actually going to want to do a mural on that one. But then I said, oh, it might look nice superimposed on it. And I think, to my mind, I think it worked out well. And so I've used a lot of charcoal. I've used color washes, and you can see the corrugated cloud. It's white, and then this land is more brown, and it's kind of monochrome to keep it quiet and simple, just peaceful. That's how I feel when I'm painting. I just get lost. I'm just forget about the world and all the politics and all the things that are happening. I just love being in that state, quiet, meditative. And I'm hoping that my work conveys that silence and that feeling of peace to the people who see it. So that's me.
Wonderful. Thank you as well so much for sharing. It's great to hear that nothing goes to waste.
Never. I'm a hoarder, sadly.
And again, something that I think everyone has mentioned, this sort of intuitive approach to art making, no plan, just do whatever you feel is natural, it must be kind of freeing to a degree.
It is. And it's also inspired by nature, right? It's just happened to be, even though it's abstract, it's still inspired by nature. Stephen's gone again.
네.
The internet must be down over there.
Yeah, you mentioned there were problems with it.
Yeah.
Or
Are
issues.
you back?
Yes, hello. Sorry, everything keeps
Yeah.
but I'm glad that I've also got this on my phone, so all of our viewers are still getting to hear everything and see everything that you're saying. So thank you again for sharing, Shakun. Next, Yeonmi has chosen a pretty interesting piece, so we'll just bring that up. Awesome. Please tell us about this.
The material in this exhibition are leftover wood from house renovation and driftwood. And the Raindrop series was inspired by raindrops. And one day I was watching heavy rain, and I realized the color and shape of raindrops were like something I never saw it before, or I never seen. It's the shape and the sounds and the movement will look like in musical form. So I gather wood and I cut some of the fragment wood and wood scrap that were newly painted, and I organize and collage them in random shape and size and color to create a new form of work. And it's an interesting process of sanding on old wood to reveal the hidden underlying color. It's like the old story, the wood old story is giving to me. And although the some piece of raindrops looks like to have been created spontaneously, but most of them it took for a long time to organize and giving them its own places, and then transform it as an artwork. Thank you.
Very interesting, because everything, it looks so, as with a lot of things in art, it looks so simple and neat, but the fact that it took you so long to figure out each composition and each form and shape is pretty fascinating. Very skilled work artists you are when you can make something look so easy and effortless, but it actually took a lot of hard work and thought and emotion to put into it. And it must feel good, Yeonmi, to you know, like you said, have this renovation that you did, and then have all of this lumber and not knowing what to do with it, and then just like, oh, now it's something beautiful that people can enjoy.
Yeah, I think Shakun understand.
Yeah.
Because you mentioned you're horror, it's me. I'm horror.
Yeah, I think all creative people tend to be. I don't know.
Yeah, we just collect material and we don't know when we are going to use what
Exactly.
is going to be ended up.
Exactly. Yeah,
But
that's so
we pick
true.
the material whenever we have some inspiration, right?
Yeah.
That's the right way, I think.
Not according to my children.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
But I feel good also to use recycled material instead of buying or using new material. So I think it's a good way to
Yeah.
be creative.
Yeah. I have Margarita Bootsma to thank for that.
Yes, yeah, go out in the alley, right? That's a great
Yeah.
lesson.
Yeah, that was way back, almost 2 decades ago. I'm quietly giving away my age.
Oh, no shame in that.
No, none at all.
Nope. Agree.
Maybe we're going to use them all in someday.
Yeah. And it's so nice that it kind of blends your work, my work, your work, you know, how
Yeah.
beautifully it works together. The first day I walked in, I told Stephen, this is amazing. It's so beautifully curated. Just amazing.
Yeah, texture and
landscapes,
shape, right?
architecture, sound waves, all of that. Yet, for the most part, a lot of the work here, with a few exceptions, is very, you know, abstract or abstract.
Mm-hmm. True. So we'll see everybody again on the 1st of August. For
I'll be
the,
there, yes.
yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, me too. That'll be nice.
It's a Friday, right?
So much is going on. I wonder how to be able to get there.
Oh, you
I
don't
mean,
live here.
I don't live. I live. I have to drive there, so we'll find out.
I have to take 2 ferries to get there.
Wow.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you again. Sorry for the interruptions. Thank you for mentioning the
opening. August 1st.
Yes. Thank you so much for mentioning that and taking that on. Yeah, August 1st here at the Silk Purse. Come on down between 6 and 7. Meet our 3 incredible artists. Chat with them in person and see this incredible show. It's pretty wonderful.
Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you, anyone who has joined us this evening for this conversation, and thanks to everyone who's going to watch this again in the future. And of course, a huge thank you to our 3 incredible artists, Ellen, Shakun, and Yeonmi, for sharing your artwork and for sharing these insights with us in this conversation. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you.
Wouldn't have happened without you choosing us.
That is true.
I think this
it is a nice
works out really well.
Yeah. And it's amazing how the way we feel and think is so similar.
Yeah.
It is amazing, and amazing that Steve had figured that out somehow.
Intuitive.
That seems to be the word of the evening. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but it's nice to represent your work in context with others that kind of think the same way or feel the same way about both their work and art.
It actually has taken me by surprise that we're so similar in the way we feel.
Yeah. But nice to find out.
Yeah.
Totally.
Wonderful.
Art's a great way to make connections.
Mhm.
It is.
So I think that's it for this evening. So again, thank you to our incredible artists, and thank you to everyone watching. And please come on down and to the Silk Purse and experience shape and texture of visual symphony. It's on until August 17th.